Just 5 bikes in the Gixxer Cup at the moment. We've had one rejoin into pit lane. Justin Mounder had a problem in the earlier race. Not too sure whether he's still got a problem there. Just trying to pick up his number. From memory, he was number 17. That is number 24. It's a bit of a shame. I think that's Harry Parker's bike from last season. So who we got out there at the moment? Shane Miller, Cameron Goldfinch, Curtis Boyd, Caleb Gilmore and Sarah Humphrey. Beautiful class. This I'm really excited when Suzuki New Zealand went to the Motorcycle New Zealand conference and introduced this class because A, they put riders out there in good clean motorcycles, brand new motorcycles, but B, they're all in good quality gear, Alpine style leathers, Bell helmets and boots and gloves and all Alpine Star, I think, from memory. But certainly it was great to see them out there, and the bikes so evenly matched, all prepared in Wanganui and sold as race bikes for $5,995 last season with the gear. You can still buy through Suzuki New Zealand agents, dealers. You can still buy a brand new Gixxer 150, and also they've got some second-hand bikes available. You can have a look on Trade Me because some of these guys have moved up to other classes, and great to see a young lady out there as well, Sarah Humphrey, getting out there and doing it on a brand new bike today. Saw the bike getting off the trailer this morning. It had tyres that hadn't even seen any sort of mileage on them, and ready to run in this class. So 5-lap race here for the final race of the Gixxer Cup round today. They didn't have them racing here yesterday, just today, and then we got the final sidecar race and prize giving downstairs later on. Got to have a little bit of a chat about the sponsors, but let's watch these guys come through in their first lap, and of course the young lady Sarah Humphrey there on bike number 14. Saw splits of 3,000s and 7,000 per second in the last couple of races. Now got about half a second, 0.448 between first and second. Cameron Goldfinch set a lap record in the last race. That's according to my records, and I think they'll be pretty damn good because we've got a lap record that was set in the Suzuki series, which you'll see these bikes racing and of 144.356. Cameron Goldfinch going around at 138.312. All I can say is in that Suzuki series, I bet there was a headwind on one of the straights here that gobbled up so much time, but now we've got pretty well no wind today, almost zero wind. That's certainly contributed because the bikes aren't allowed to be modified. You're allowed to upgrade some of the fork components. All the rules are in the MNZ book. If you have any clarification required, contact MNZ or Suzuki New Zealand. But certainly everything must remain standard, and that's the beauty of the class, because it's up to you to get out there and ride. The only difference is maybe in the rider's weight, and even then they'll put a weight limit of combined bike and rider. I think it's set at either 183 or 187 kilograms. And if you're under that, you've got to either run a full tank of gas, if that's enough to get you under the weight limit, or you've got to apply some weights to various parts of the motorcycle. You have to take technical advice on that because, depending on the weighting you have to put on, it may not be safe to put it all in the one spot, which is allocated as being the old centre stand mount. You can buy these bikes for the street. They come available, I think I've seen 4 colours. There's a brick red colour, but a bright red colour, the blue as you see here, and also a black colour, and you can buy an unfaired version as well, with just a small fairing up the front of the Gixxer 150, GSX 150. Such a smart looking motorcycle too, with the Mead Speed pipes. If you buy one for the street, they'll come with a stock pipe. If you buy a race bike, it'll come with a Mead Speed pipe, built in Hara, out of stainless steel, absolutely beautiful workmanship. If you want your street bike to have one of those pipes, simply contact your Suzuki dealer at Mead Speed Direct in Hara, or indeed you probably get on Trade Me, because I have seen them advertising those pipes for the Gixxer Cup bikes on Trade Me. So already now, what's the lap time? The lap record of 138.312. We're pretty close to that. We've got a 139.129 for the last lap time for Cameron Goldfinch. Shane Miller's disappeared off the face of the earth. I suspect that's not the case. Shane Miller's out there still probably in the front, but I suspect his transponder has failed. We'll just pick up on that. Shane Miller's still out there, but his transponder didn't pick up going across the start-finish line. Yep, definitely those two guys out in the front. I don't know whether you can hear me, Tim Gibbs, Tim and Joan. We're missing a transponder of one of those front two bikes. Shane Miller's not been picked up on the last lap. In fact, now it's come back up on the screen. Apologies, folks. But meanwhile, a 39.129 for Cameron Goldfish for his fastest lap. A 38.904 for Shane Miller. So something's gone on here. No, we're right now. Sorry, I just saw him drop to the bottom of the screen, but they come through there on lap 3. Shane's still in the front. 38.6, 38.222. That's a new lap record for Cameron Goldfish. 38.312, 38.222 now. Long way back to third place. As we're looking on the Ctas footage there, closing in there. Cameron Goldfish is closing in on Shane Miller, going through that infield quite fast. These bikes around the corners, certainly compared with the rest of the bikes we've had over the over the couple of days here. Third place is Curtis Boyd there, and Sarah Humphrey is coming through. She's already gone through. It's Caleb Gilmore now on the 5th bike on the track. So somebody pulling out early on. And we've had, unfortunately, Justin Mounder had an issue with his bike in the first or second race, and or even the practice qualifying sessions, and pulled out. So luckily he's only come from local area, but still he'll be disappointed. But that's all right. That means he's got to get his bike sorted out for the Gixxer Cup season coming up. You can race these bikes here at Manfeild in December, Taupo the next weekend, and sorry, the other way around, Taupo, then Manfeild, and then if you're over 16 years old, you're eligible to do the Suzuki Series finale at the Cemetery Circuit in Whanganui. And then there's 5 rounds in New Zealand Superbike Championship. We start off at Ruapuna in the first weekend in January. We go down to Levels in Timaru, have a bit of a break, come back up north. Can't remember which order it is, but it's Manfeild, Hampton Downs and Taupo. So we saw a gap of 261 thousandths of a second. I reckon that just got, yeah, no, it's got a bit bigger there, 334 thousandths of a second. And Cameron Goldfish about 0.7 of a second slower, so just 0.1 behind Shane Miller, so that's why it's opened up a little bit. Number 20 versus number 38, but they close up right coming out of the Toyota corner, close up to about 6-7 bike lengths between them, and Goldfinch is reeling in Miller there. Number 28 versus number 20 there, reels them in there as we see third place there going across the start-finish stripe. Curtis Boyd on the 16 bike. Sarah Humphrey getting faster and faster, 146.5, 147 and a 4.4. Actually, she's got slower on that last lap, so another lap to work it all out, maybe another even lap and a half. Up the centre straight, this is about as far as these two lead bikes have got apart from each other in the 3 races today. There's probably 8 bike lengths between them. Shane Miller and Cameron Goldfinch there into the Higgins corner. And then we look round coming into the hairpin a long way back, about 28 seconds behind over the start-finish line. Curtis Boyd on the 16 machine. Sarah Humphrey's now going into the hairpin there. I'm not sure whether Sarah's done some bucket racing. Some of these guys and girls that are doing the Gixxer Cup have not been on a motorbike on a racetrack before, certainly not on a sealed track. The occasional one have done another class. Part of the rules for the Gixxer Cup is that you, if you've finished in any race in the top 5 in New Zealand Superbike Championships, any class, you're not eligible. Here we go. It's going to be a photo finish, an absolute photo finish. I'd say that's about 20 thousandths of a second. In fact, it's 19 thousandths of a second with Cameron Goldfish taking the win. Cameron Goldfish taking the win. That's great riding by Cameron Goldfish, a 128 and a lap record today. Shane Miller there in second place. In fact, that's not a win, sorry. It's supposed to be 5 lap races. Laps to go 2. So nobody's told me. It actually looks like it's to be a 7 lap race. So that's good. Things to aspire to. 20 thousandths of a second is not even that between first and second. We go back 35 seconds to Curtis Boyd, who goes through nice and cleanly on bike number 16. So we saw a 146 and a 147 from Sarah. She's still in the 147s, a 147.821 for Sarah on bike number 14. Looking around that big sweeper, and we can see Caleb Gilmore coming up. I understand it's his first race spinning on this bike, as indeed it is Sarah Humphrey. So a bit of new blood into the Gixxer Cup. It's great. A lot of the guys from last year have learnt a lot about the racetracks, and it's up to these young newcomers to try and aspire and get with them and try to learn their lines around the track. There's a lot of footage on Ctas live available on the Internaughty for you to follow them and work out how you get around the track. The two lead bikes come round onto the front straight. Who was that in the front? Cameron, I think. Just a little bit later on the braking, runs really wide coming across that start-finish straight onto the straight, right into the paint, but it doesn't seem to affect him that as he tucks back into the front. I think that's Shane Miller. Yep, Shane Miller in the front there. Sorry, folks. Very hard to differentiate which bike's which. That's life, you know. Toyota corner, 6-7 bike lengths. Shane Miller led into that. Cameron Goldfinch in second place. This is all about slipstreaming. It's all about slipstreaming now. You'll notice in a lot of the Gixxer Cup races around New Zealand, the winner is usually not the leader into the last corner. They are trying to get in behind the other riders. Those lead riders are breaking the wind, making a pathway through the wind, and they're taking advantage in behind, and the idea is to come out on the start-finish line just before the start-finish line and punch forward. It gives you quite a bit of drive. Very technical part of motorcycle racing, trying to set up that perfect moment when to come out, because once you come out from the side, in from behind the other machine, you're straight into the wind, so all of a sudden you've got to do different things, and if you've selected the wrong gear and not ready to break that wind like the lead bike is, it can pay dividends or it can't pay dividends. Down the back straight for the last time there, the white flag's out, and we've still got Caleb Gilmore, I think, to come through and take that white flag, but we've got the two lead bikes. Yep, that's Caleb Gilmore on 23. Sarah Humphrey's already long gone there. Dropping her lap times again. She was up in the 47.8. She's now in the 47.1. It's not as quick as her quickest time, 46.5. Now here's where that slipstreaming comes in. Will it play into action? Oh, right off into the side of the white line. So it was Shane Miller ahead of Cameron Goldfinch, but he just set a 1:38.172, which is another lap record. 1:38.172 for Goldfinch on the Gixxer 150, as are all the bikes. I've not seen bikes go right across that white line but still stay on the tar seal on the inside. Don't know what was happening there, but I guess that may be a bit of foxing to try and not let the other rider go through and shorten the track a little bit more, but they stayed safe. They weren't quite on the grass, and that was what we need in a racing environment. All right, Curtis Boyd on the 16 machine coming along that front straight. What was his fastest lap? 44.9, 43.7, so that's 1.2 seconds quicker in that lap, and we're going to see what Sarah Humphrey can do. She got a 46.5 flat. Her best other lap time was a 47.1, which was her last one, and so 46.5, getting more comfortable or not. 47.5, so just a little bit slower, but I mean, these bikes are so, they don't have the horsepower of most of the machinery we'd see on the Superbike Racing Championships, so one different direction around a corner or one thing like that, and it can certainly suck some time out of you, and it did a little bit there, but still a sterling effort by Sarah Humphrey on bike number 14. Caleb Gilmore comes round the big Go Media sweeper onto the front straight to take the final position in the 7-lap race. Well done, team. Well done, Suzuki New Zealand. Back to a bit of music and then sidecars.